Hello, welcome to the Art of Learning Self-Love. And today we're going to do day 4 in the 90-day Art of Learning Self-Love. And if you guys have your pens and papers, write down that I am whole and complete within myself. Whole and complete within myself. That is our affirmation of the day. I generally ask everyone that when you start taking the Art of Learning Self-Love, that you go ahead and get yourself a notebook, be prepared, because each day is going to be an assignment and allows you to actually begin working on things and discovering things about yourself that may need to be worked on. And I give an affirmation each day so that you can start beginning to build your own self-confidence. One of the things we all lack is our own personal self-confidence to move through and navigate. We're always thinking about building everyone else, but not always ourselves. So remembering that even when life looks like it's in its turmoil or the sadness is hit and the painful events have happened, we still have the opportunity to tap back into our truth. And our truth is that from the foundations of the creations of the world, that we were whole and complete. That is the perfect divine plan. So even when we don't feel it, we know that we can tap into the truth of who we are. The assignment of the day would be, what is your favorite quote, poem, or story? Why is it important to you? How does this encourage you? And why do you relate? Generally, people have a story that they like to share because it resonates within them, or they'll have a poem that encourages them when they feel low, or a quote that someone has stated that really rung through to the core of who they are. So I want you to take a minute, think about it, and ask yourself, do you have a favorite quote, poem, or story? And how does it relate to where you are today? Did it help empower you and move you forward? Does it just remind you of where you've come from? Does it give you the strength to press in and continue on when things get heavy? For myself personally, I've had lots of different opportunities when it came to quotes, poems, or stories. I've gravitated to all of them, as many as I could, because for a long time, I didn't feel like I had any support system. And I was gleaning on every word I could possibly find, because my love language is encouragement, encouraging words, hearing the positivity, hearing the things that build each other and build myself. That's something I need, quality time and encouragement. So some people are about acts of service, while others are about receiving gifts and physical touch. There are 5 different languages there, and you don't know which one you resonate with, but those are the 2 that resonate the most with me. It's the quality time and the empowerment of encouragement. Because I had a life that had me so bogged down, people told me that I was less than too many times, that I was incapable of comprehending, that I was not smart enough, that I had limitations beyond the things and I'd never succeed due to them. And I was the person who decided to turn the whole world upside down and show others that it's possible. I chose not to use that as chose to use that as my fuel. My father's favorite phrase to me was can't, never, did, nothing. He's right. Can't doesn't. Every time you make an excuse for yourself or an excuse for a situation, you truly can't move past it because you get locked up in it. So for myself, in a different part of my life, I had been given a challenge. And I've always been someone who's been what's considered optimistic, the positive side, the ability to see something out of nothing. I wear the rose-colored lenses of life because I will always find something good. Doesn't matter who you are. I will be able to find the good in you, even if you don't even know it's there. It's a gift that no matter who we are, we all come from love. So for myself, during that time in my life when I wrote a poem, it was I'm passionate, proud, positive, and peach, full of pizzazz, ready to be pink, moving fast in every way because today will be my day. And that's something I wrote. I sat down with those words and went, why that flooded me that day, I don't know. But that was something that I could use each day when I felt like I couldn't overcome the next hurdle in my life. Passionate, proud, and positive and peach, full of pizzazz, ready to be pink, moving fast in every way, because today will be my day. Today would be my day, regardless of what the whole world thought. I could make it my day too, because I was equally allowed the same as everyone else. My only limitation was whether or not I bought into the stories. And how many of us can honestly say we buy into other people's stories? I still struggle with it today. We all do. No one is exempt from life and experiences, your feelings and your emotions. We all have them. So I want you guys to go ahead and share if you have a quote. Who has quotes that they love? Or a poem?
Mine's more of like an affirmation.
Yep, that's a quote.
So really, it's simple, but it's what I needed so much at the point in life that it came to me. And I do still use it to this day. I am willing to experience a little more love every day. And when it came to me, it was so powerful because it was literally giving me that permission to do just that in a time and place where I struggled with even experiencing or understanding what that unconditional love for self is.
I like that you went from was to is. I like the catch there.
Still now.
Changing your wording and allowing it to continue to flow into you by making it present.
Well, if the story was past tense and I was speaking in that, and I had dawned on me, wait a second, no, this is still happening now. In the now.
Lorraine, welcome. Kat,
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good. So I have
That's
come to
good.
you to find out if you have, because I know that you've taken the art of learning self-love. Did you find yourself a quote, a poem, or a story?
Um, yeah, and I can't remember what I had written when it came to that part of it.
Okay.
I it escapes me now. I think it was a poem I wrote for myself that I really loved. Just because I write so much poetry.
Right.
But just knowing, I think knowing that when times are tough, you're not alone, that gives a lot of people strength to go on. And as well for me too, you know. Um,
That's beautiful.
one of my favorite quotes is, you know, everything happens for a reason. We might not know what the reason is at the time, but everything happens for a reason. And so I think that is something that I think everyone should remember, because there's a lesson to be learned throughout whatever experience it is that we're going through. And,
Right.
you know, our higher power has something in store for us, you know, some kind of like divine intervention for our life, that there's a reason for whatever happens. Like, for example, when I was raped, when I was a teenager and I was a virgin, and I went through a whole traumatic experience and, an avalanche of ups and downs as a result. And
Right.
now I can look back, and because of having written the book From Nope to Hope, and
Mhm.
teaching others that they're not alone in whatever, whatever they're going through, whatever depression, whatever kind of suicidal thoughts, whatever, anything that they're going through, there's still hope, and you can still make it through these obstacles no matter what. And so now I take a look back and think, okay, well, the way I figure it is the reason I've gone through all that crap I went through was so that I could teach other people to have strength to go on as well. And I know that you can totally relate, Darla, because you have used all of your experiences from your past to accept, who the person that you are, and now teaching others, how to love themselves more. So I know, like, there's so many parallels with me and you, it's uncanny. But yeah, it's beautiful when we're able to pass on that strength to other people.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for acknowledging that too. And Lorraine, it has been a privilege and an honor to walk with you through some of yours because yours was at a hard time in your life. And I appreciated the journey with you. And I hope that it really allowed you a space for you to begin growing and more and not being so hard on yourself.
It really did. And you know what, honestly, I don't think I could have done it without you. To the extent, like, I obviously I would have, I would have gone through everything regardless, but I don't think I could have gone through it with the strength that I did if it weren't for you.
Well, everyone needs someone when we're going through hardships in life. And that may
Hmm.
be me one time with someone, it may be somebody else with them. And I've got those people that are my fallback when life just seems to get totally out of sorts, and I know that I can touch base and reorientate myself at any given moment.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
we all can get knocked off that space in life where we feel confident and secure and we can stumble and fall. And Joe made a recent post in regards to, taking it easier on yourself. We celebrate a child even in their fall. Why are we being so hard on ourselves?
Right.
It's okay. We all stumble. We all make mistakes and we're not perfect. We're learning our
One quote sort of that comes to mind is the one about the piece of advice about talking to yourself the way you would talk to a friend. Because we all would treat our friends better than ourselves. And then when it comes to our own negative self-talk, it's like, why are we doing that to ourselves? We would never say that to our friend. So why are we saying it to ourselves? So I think that's and that always kind of sticks with me when I catch myself beating myself up. It's like, wait a minute, uh treat yourself a little better. Treat yourself like you would treat your friends, because you would never say something mean or something that would cut your friend down, so why are you cutting yourself down so much? So yeah, because that was something that I struggled with for a really long time. I'm great at giving advice, but not so great at taking it, like preaching when I'm, actually for myself, like I need to listen to myself as well. Like, yeah.
turn your own words within and actually live it as well as speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hardest challenge of all, is actually getting in that place where you're actually walking your talk and
Yes.
you walk. And we all can get in that space, and it's choosing to live for our highest good and being fully authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a beautiful space to get into. Thank you so much for sharing, Lorraine.
Yeah, no problem.
Jan, I'm going to ask you, do you have a favorite quote, poem, or story?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I don't yet. Um, because I read so many pieces and am writing a book completely about none of those above. Um, but I will gravitate towards um learning about E. E. Cummings because I had a I feel great person of teach tell me that I sound very much like him when I can speak on things. So in coming times that we are in this group, I shall reach for him and learn about what he writes.
Okay,
Really,
perfect.
really brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, everyone has something, some type of words that literally encourage them, empower them to keep moving forward. We all have life situations that arise that make us feel certain ways. And when we feel that we fall into that lower vibrational state, how do we pick ourselves back up? How do we redirect ourselves when life just sort of throws in the catastrophe and you go, ah, I didn't want that. I was in my own little lane, minding my own little business. And all of a sudden, and you're like, oh, do you respond or do you react? You know, that's what it comes down to is are we giving ourselves the respect that we need as well as the ones that others need? So it's not just one-sided. It's getting into a space where we can actually understand and tap into that wholeness and completion of who we are. And when we can tap into that, we'll always respond with what's appropriate. Because then we're setting ourselves aside and we're not getting in our ego and in our mind and going, well, now, here's what's happening. But we can actually step back and go, oh, there's a situation. This person's wounded and hurt automatically hurt others because they don't have any control. So when you can look at that, it allows you to give more space for that other party in your life. And it also, but bringing us back to our quotes and our things, when we're hearing those words or emphasizing those words in our life daily, what are we then doing? We're actually empowering ourselves to keep moving forward. We're depositing the confidence by, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Or the phrase, with God, all things are possible. Or if you can dream it, you can become it. Um, Yesterday is already a dream and tomorrow is only a vision, but today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. There are things that you can put around you and that you can see at any given moment. Another person in my life that was really empowering for me, that gave me a lot of strength, was when I was working for a company called Mary Kay. Mary Kate Ash built an organization for women to actually begin empowering, enriching other women's lives by giving the support system that was necessary. And for me, it really allowed me to grow and develop. One of those poems in her business she has up on the wall in her office. She's no longer living, but in her office, it's still there for people to visit. And it's got a poem on the wall, and it says, and it's got it written and signed. So I know that the poem is by her because it's on her wall and it's got her signature under it. But it's called On Silver Wings. I have a premonition that soars on silver wings. It's a dream of your accomplishments, of many wondrous things. I do not know beneath which sky or where you'll choose. I only know it will be high. I only know it will be great. When I read those words, didn't matter where I was, it was a perfect time to start. And I had everything I needed. For me, that was empowerment. It gave me an enrichment in my life. It showed me that no matter whether or not I stayed right where I was at, or no matter where I went, there was something bigger that was going to assist me along the way, that I could connect collectively with one another and still make it no matter where I was. Learning the art was one of the things that she wrote, and I have, and it's on this little card that I read regularly. And one of the things that I have worked so hard on in my life is learning the art of successfully dealing with people is the most important asset anyone can acquire for attaining success in business and indeed success in life. You can do it. Love, Mary Kay. So attaining the skill to understand another is all that's saying. Attaining the skill to stop being so full of yourself and take the time to listen to another. That's all she was saying. If you can master that gift, you have the gift to help anyone because you can actually hear them from where they're coming from. And that is what I've spent years learning how to master, to listen and actually tune in and hear what each person is saying. Some days those words hurt deep, and I can still forgive and let go. Other days, those words encourage me, empower me, and make me feel like I'm swimming on top of the universe and that I can do anything. And it's just the delivery and where I'm at in my energy body as well. And that's learning. How did we begin learning our energy bodies? Can anyone speak into that? Does anyone understand your energy body and living from a space where you can respond to others appropriately when their energy comes in and affects yours?
Oh yeah.
See, I like to look at it like this. I'll go ahead and use for an example. Yesterday, I had an episode with my son, and I was really trying to be in a space of loving and kindness and listening, but his episode was not allowing for me to connect him. And I had to literally, in the middle of talking to him, say, you know what? I absolutely love you, but we're in two frequencies right now that cannot meet. We're on different spectrums of the frequency. You are resonating down here, and I'm resonating up here, and neither one of us are right or wrong. We're just in different vibrational energy spaces right now, and the two cannot meet. I said, you know what? Right now, we are literally like two magnets turned against each other and repelling each other. And we cannot flip because we're not in the same field. We can't connect. I said, it has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with me. It just has to do with the energy. Like, so being able to say that and share that, that's something I want people to hear. Sometimes it has nothing to do with where you're at or where they're at and whether or not there's love in the equation. It has nothing to do with the ups and the downs of whatever and the fluctuations. It has to do with the frequency. And if we're only resonating in one frequency, whether or not it's a high frequency or a low frequency, it's still the frequency. So when we're in that, how do we begin navigating? For some, if they're in sadness, can they always connect with another space if they are sad? No, because somebody has to come into that space with them and be sad with them. And then they can rise up together. And that's the part of unity and working with one another that we have and the privileges of having support. Dr. Kim, what is your favorite quote, poem, or story?
Well, today it's this one, which is so simple. For who you are, for being you, you are loved. And why that resonates with me today is I've been really in this inquiry of how life, we get programmed that it's all about doing, doing. And even when we do all the time, it occurs like it's never enough. Do more, do more. And that society measures us by how much we do, how much we have. And that quote, for who you are, for being you, you are loved, it doesn't have any doing in it. Just for us being here on this earth at this moment, we are loved. And to be able to take that in, it's really important to me today. It's like, it's Saturday. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
What do you really want? You want to relax? Do you want to run out and do something fun? What's in your heart?
Yes.
Tap into that.
If I could tell this really quick story, if you don't mind, I had friends visit me 2 weeks ago who I'd only known on Zoom. And they came and stayed with me for 2 days. And it was exhilarating to actually be able to hug someone in person. I don't have a lot of people in my life right now that I can hug. So it was really very special. And I noticed like the week after they left, I was going to the dollar store every day buying all this stuff. And it was about two things. It was about the treasure hunt, and it was about having human connection because I tend to talk to all the people in the aisles and all of that. But I came home with all this stuff I didn't need. And I realized I was really trying to fill the void of their absence. And I've done that for 2 weeks. So this week I said, Kim, you're not going to buy anything. I want you to go a week without buying anything, not even on Amazon. And I'm an Amazon groupie. I mean, I send Amazon. The Amazon truck comes 3 or 4 times a week to my house. And it's left, and I've been able to do it. I even ordered a book and then remembered, oh no, I have to cancel that order because I'm not buying anything this week. And it's left all this space. And it's been a little challenging, to be honest, because then I've had to face, oh, I think I might be lonely. What are these feelings about? You know, I have a brother who is dying, literally dying, and there's nothing, physically I can do for him. And that's a burden to carry, and it's sad. And yes, I'd love to run to the dollar store and put icing on that sadness for a bit, but that's not really going to help, is it? So I don't know how that relates, but I think I'm finding it important.
Now, that falls into also the shopping therapy or, purchase therapy. Sometimes that's something that some people will do to lift themselves back up, you know. So that could have been when you bottomed out, that was what you were trying to replace. And that's just it, but you caught it.
Yes.
You see it. And you're not using it to continue and moving further into it. You're actually using it to go, oh, I need a little bit of balance. And do you need accountability? Do you need anyone to check in?
Well, I'll be calling you, Darla. Thank
No,
you.
do you need anybody? Because I wrote a note to check to find out if you want accountability, because it's hard to navigate those spaces. I have to say, Joe has really helped me a lot in regards to staying more tuned into myself. He really opens that space for me to tune into myself instead of allowing myself to destroy myself with many things to do. He reminds me how important it is for my self-care and my self-time. when, so it's nice to have somebody that will say, hey, are you remembering you? I was like, maybe not today. And I have such a desire. I actually get filled. For me, the acts of services that I do to help other people actually fill me. Though I need encouragement every day, the way I show love is by doing, by helping, by being a source, by being able to connect to those. So for me, that actually fills because I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. And that makes me feel, full. So that's the act. So sometimes we give different love languages than we need to receive. So paying attention to others, sometimes others don't need you to do for them. Sometimes they need you to encourage them or support them or, looking at those around you as well. And like for you right now, Dr. Kim, with the fact that you have the passing of someone and you're in your process, that is a sad space to be in. And that's where we all are supposed to come along and nourish and love and support those who are going through those turmoil states.
Mm.
So anybody in here, if you guys can, let her know periodically throughout the week when you think about her, send her a message and let her know so she's encouraged. But she has that sadness going on right now. And that's what is it that we're supposed to do? Meet those where they're at. Meet them where you can. Love them from afar when you can't. So if we can, just standing in as a group periodically, just letting her know that she is supported and has those around her. And we're with you through the process.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
So I know that has to be heavy right now. And this is the one you've been so close with.
Actually, it's not. It's my oldest brother who,
Okay.
and the sad part is he's barred all of us from seeing him. So it's doubly difficult.
He doesn't want to push that upon others.
Yes. So
But
thank
he's-
you. His name is Tom. Thank you very much.
Definitely holding space for all of you. Maybe even a softening of
Yeah.
his heart so he could allow others to see him.
Thank you.
Just so we can open up the doors and all those little details can be met on time, every time.
So I'm having to practice what I said to you about your son, Darla. It's his journey. It's not my journey. It's his journey, and he gets to walk it as he chooses, even though I wish he would walk it differently. So it's a very humbling time and a time of letting go.
It is definitely a time of letting go. And that brings me back to what I was reading earlier about my value statement tonight. I want the very best, even if that means that I'm not in their life. Even if that means excluding me. When you care for another, you want the very best, even if that means that they can't have you in it. Because if you are causing any problems there just because of past wounds, different things, and until those things are resolved, the toxicity in that space, sometimes you have to move yourself out and still respect them from afar and love them from afar while they are working through their stuff. And it can be hard, especially in the events of you don't know what tomorrow brings. None of us are promised tomorrow. None of us. We all have our plans. We all have our details. We all have our stuff that we want to do tomorrow. And I bet you there's some of us on this call that have things that are scheduled all the way into next year. I know myself, I have things like that are scheduled all the way out a year in advance. So I know that I have plans for tomorrow, but I'm not promised tomorrow. But I'm dreaming as if I do. Which means that's where we're all at. We all see it, but we're not promised it. So to live each moment, because you never know. Don't wait to enjoy those good times, because you don't know whether or not those good times will actually arrive. If you have it, do it. Don't hesitate. That's why the now is so important. That used to hang on my wall. And Joe just reminded me that's why the now is so important to be in. Now is all we have. I can't go back and I can't change the past. I can't go in the future and rearrange it so that I can do whatever I want. I have to experience it as it comes. Just like each one of us on this call has to wait for tomorrow to show up and see if we open our eyes and experience it. But if I lived in right this very second and tune into right here, right now, I have an amazing group of people sitting with me in a container space that all have the same desire, that want to grow and develop and love one another. And I'm fortunate in the here and now to be surrounded by so many like-minded people. So getting into that space, I'm whole and complete within myself. Going back to the affirmation. If you don't have a quote that you really can lean on, write one down, find one. Find those words that mean something to you, or find that story that sets your heart on fire. I love the story of the frog. He was a hearing impaired frog. He had no idea. He thought the whole village was cheering him on to the success of him climbing a tree, when in all actuality, because he was hearing impaired, he couldn't actually hear him. He could just see their hands moving. And in his interpretation, he was getting cheered on, and he made it all the way to the top because he couldn't hear the naysayers or those who were telling him otherwise. For me, I can really relate to that story. I made it to the top of where I am today. I don't compare myself to anyone else because my story is completely different. And each day it just gets better. And as long as I keep improving each day, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So find those stories, find those things. And before I let you go, I would love to take you into the fountain. If you have any sadness, frustration, irritation, aggravation, things that are setting you aside, that are not allowing you to fully connect to the completion of the wholeness of who you are, who you were built to be from the beginnings of the foundations of the earth, let's restore that now. And come back into alignment, know that we are whole and complete. So as above, so below. I want you to close your eyes and take in a couple deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And in this space right here, I want you to imagine yourself before the garden and that there is a gate. And this gate lights up and moves, open and closed, open and closed, open. As it opens, now you feel an invitation within. You find yourself literally being pulled within and seeing the lush green grass as you're walking through it. And everything's flowing back and forth, through and fro. You see the waves of the grass blades in the distance. And now see the bushes and the brush and the shrubs and the flowers and the wildflowers and all the plants. You can see the trees that are growing deep in the distance, and now you begin to see the path. Upon the path, you begin to walk. As you round around the bend, you see and hear the fountain. As you go forward, you feel a drawing into the center of the fountain as the light cascading water effects are pouring down from the top and inviting you in to be cleansed today, to be reset and recalibrated, allowing you to be free from all those things, those low vibrations that are no longer serving your highest good, allowing you to remove those densities in your body and allowing you to be unblocked, cleansed, cleared. So as you step up and step up and step down into the fountain, as the waters begin to circulate from the top, pouring down in the light water cascading effect down in front of you, you feel the waters as they begin to rise over the tops of your feet, up your shins and your calves, and up to your knees. And as the water gets to your knees, you feel pulled to go ahead and step in. As you step into the flow of the fountain flowing down over the top of you, allow your crown to open and allow these waters, this cleansing light, to flow in. As it enters the top of your mind, into your top of the crown, just above your head, you can feel it now touching the scalp. Go ahead and open up and allow it to come into your third eye. As it enters into the third eye, it's illuminating your stories, your sadness, your pain, your frustrations, your irritations, the things in life that are keeping you bound up, locked up, kept up, and not able to proceed. Allow those things to be removed and rearranged and allow you to be put into the total peace and the serenity of knowing that all things work together for your good. You're whole and complete from the foundations of creation, and there's nothing that separates you from your truth. Though you've experienced your experience, know that it is, that you can release it. Bring that down and into your throat to remove any storyline that has been sitting in there that you've spoken, that others have spoken and you've repeated, that are keeping you from being all of your authentic self, speaking your ultimate truth. Bringing this down into your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingertips, and up back into your heart. Removing any vibrational stories that lie dormant in the skin, in the muscle, in the bones, in the veins. Removing any blockages or frustrations, irritations, aggravations, sadness. But finding the joy of being in the now. Bringing this into your heart and sweeping it clean. Bringing a refreshing and restoring to the very core of our heart. Allowing us to be rearranged and brought back to completion and wholeness. Down into the solar plex, into the sacral, into the root. As it's continuing to pour through, that is cleansing and restoring. Taking out any story that is no longer serving our highest good. Bringing this down into our thighs, into our calves, into our feet. Taking all of this ball of light from both sides that have now divided, pushing this down, 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 down into the ground as far away from us as possible. Allowing it to still flow from the throne onto our own, into our bodies, into our beings, to restore us, bring us into perfect alignment, bringing us back to peace, to stillness, to wholeness, to completion. Bringing just back the light, the water, the refreshing waters of healing, restoration power. Bringing that up into our toes, into our soles of our feet, up into the calves, into the shins, bringing it up into our knees and into our thighs, up into the root. You want to bring this straight up through your spinal column, bringing you to a position of being with your shoulders back, bringing this up into the brainstem, cleansing, restoring, healing, refreshing, back up into the third eye, seeing that all things are cleared, restored, refreshed, whole and complete from the foundations of creation. When you're ready, go ahead and release it. Allow it back through the crown, back up into the heavenlies. Be thankful. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in the meditation and walking you through your clearing. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Very brightening to the soul. Can really feel that. Thank you.
I hope that it really cleared the energy body and allows you to be free and feeling peace again.
Yes.
Blessings, love, and light. Did anyone else want to say anything?
No, just wanted to say thank you for being amazing.
You too. We're all amazing.
Yes, we are.
We always tend to give everyone else more acknowledgement of it, though, instead of ourselves.
True enough.
You know, every time I help you, you're helping me to grow as much as I'm helping you. And that's the part I love most.
Aw.
Blessings, love, and light. May you all remember to drink lots of water today because we did do a serious clearing. Make sure you drink water. If you feel bogged down or need to reach out, if something comes up, please don't hesitate. Always know that I'm available. You can always message me. And I'm here for you. Blessings, love, and light.
Thank you. To you too. Thank you.
Thanks, Darla. Have a great day, everyone.